Hello YouTubers. Now, I haven't made a video for a while and there's a good reason for that. I haven't really had much content to film. I've just done a little bit of welding on my Land Rover, but nothing more than that. But today I think I have something worthy. I have borrowed the the van from work and the trailer from my friend Santeri, and I'm just going to head out to the forest to visit my friend Yanni. And I am finally going to start working on my Karmann Ghia. So today we plan to take the body off the chassis. I'm going to put the chassis on the trailer and bring it back to work. Let's go. So here I am at Yanni's and here is the gear. So we're going to roll this out of here and start unbolting. There's also the spare rear quarter here that needs to be cut. Maybe along this line. We'll have a look and weld it on. So let's roll this out. Yanni's just put in some air in the tyres. There he goes. Oh yeah, look at that. Like new, isn't it? Ready? So here she is, my 1962, I think, Karmann Ghia from Texas. I think I have owned this. How long have I owned this, Yanni? 2 or 3 years? Who knows?
Probably at least 2.
At least 2 years. So it has this lovely patina, as you can see. I mean, you just can't buy that. And the roof originally would have been white, but it's nicely sunburnt off. You can see some remains of it there. This has been cut away, as you can see. Had some crash damage, been pulled out a little bit, so that's why I have that spare rear quarter. It's been cut along the edge here, so I think that's where I will cut the other one and weld it in. It's not actually too badly rusted. The floors are completely gone, as you can see right through, so that's why we're going to change the pans. This needs some repair, nothing too bad. I'll straighten this out. This is where they've drilled a series of holes and used a slide hammer to pull out damage, so I need to make that a bit better. Still got the Texas plates, but this patina is just amazing. So today the plan is we're going to unbolt the chassis, lift it off, and now I'm going to put the chassis on the trailer and put the new pan halves on there. As you can see, this needs some attention. I will probably hand make these and weld them in, try and match the paint somehow, but it's nothing too bad. It looks bad, but I mean, all the inner fenders and everything are actually really good, so I'm hoping that the heater channels are also not going to be too rusted underneath, so we can get this back on. Interior is well, the driver's seat has a tear in, but I think I'm just going to clean this up because it kind of suits the rest of the car. I'll put new carpets in and a new dash top, new seals, everything like that. But man, this is my dream car. I I don't know if you've seen a series of previous videos I did where I put the engine together for this, which is currently in my 64. I tested it out, so that will go in here, and I'm just gonna make it low and slow. So over here we have the replacement rear quarter. As I said, I'll probably cut it along here. This also needs some repairing down here, but you know, I have to do the same the other side. And also in this bag, I actually forgot I had this, but this was originally on my 64 Beetle. It's a narrowed lowering beam, so that will go on the Karmann Ghia. Cool stuff.
Not bad either.
Not bad at all. So you can see the floors definitely need replacing. We're just undoing all, or Jan is undoing all the bolts to release the body. I'll get underneath and remove the ones under there. So underneath, you see there's a series of bolts holding the chassis to the body, and they have all been coming undone quite nicely so far. Yanni just lifted the front of the car up because there are 4 bolts to each side at the front. They're like, I think they're 17 mil. They're a little stiff, so we're just going to remove those with a bit more ground clearance. You can see the ones that we removed are actually really clean and not rusty. They came out really well, so that's a good indication that hopefully underneath the heater channels there's not going to be too much rust. We took the front seats out, and as you can see, a little worse for wear, especially the driver's one. I'm going to order new carpets and probably new seat covers. I don't know yet. Maybe just clean them up and roll ratty. Two of those bolts have come out, and as you can see they're quite long, so you can't get any like penetrating fluid on there because they're up so far into the body. So, but luckily 2 are out, 2 more to go. As you can see, I took the fuel tank out, and there's this weird like clay or concrete everywhere under here, but the front end of the chassis looks really solid, so that's good news. Okay, we're got those 4 bolts out, so next we're going to disconnect the steering coupler, and that should be the last thing before we can lift this body off. Okay, there's 2 more bolts to go. Yanni is just taking the whole drum off because
Center mount
race wheels.
Like racing horses.
So we have these 2 bolts up here that are still holding the body to the chassis. Helpper homma. Okay, with the wheels back on, Yanni's just gonna try and lift the back of the body with a big bit of wood, and he's... That didn't sound good.
Yep.
Crunchy.
There shouldn't be any bolts left.
That's proper stuff.
Yeah.
Texas sun has melted all the rubber. As you can see, this door sealed.
A little bit soft. Next time. Should come down now.
Okay, the back is now free. I actually forgot to take or didn't forget, I missed a bolt. So the back is coming up, the front is still a bit stuck. So we think it's just at the front here. There's a rubber seal that goes between the body and the chassis, and I think it's just kind of glued itself. And we just found another bolt on this side. So that should be it. You can see, if I come around here, you can see how it's lifting up. And there's the rubber seal that goes between the body and the chassis. So once that bolt comes out, we should be able to lift this off. Okay, so we just pushed the whole car over here, and we're going to lift the body and put it back in its little home. I can't even lift.
Oh, why?
Can't lift.
What? Is there still something attached? Yeah. Why?
What is it?
There's nothing.
It's just weak.
Yeah. Oh. I got the power. Oh, what? Is it too heavy?
Yeah, for me.
Okay.
It does feel like it.
Oh. No, it doesn't come this way. That stays.
Oh, we need to take the lip off.
Yeah. Jos jotain nostaa tarvii, niin et sä siellä voi olla. Is it still heavy?
Let's see.
Jesus. Easy. Haluatko koittaa nostaa tuolta chainin kautta?
As soon as you lift it,
Yeah.
it's really heavy.
Okay.
You want to get this corner? Ah, that's better. Well, that was easy.
Yep.
I'm still out of breath. So what do we have? A chassis with big holes. So I am going to cut these pan halves out, put fresh ones in. This all looks solid at the front, just needs cleaning up. I'm going to put that narrowed lowering beam on the front, and obviously I'll change everything. I'll change the shocks. I'll probably put disc brakes. I'll probably put disc brakes on the front, clean everything up, new brake hoses. I'll check these brake lines, maybe I'll change those if they're corroded, clean up the gearbox, new gaiters. These are old and perished. Not sure if the gearbox works, but we'll find out. But yeah, I'm going to take this to work, disassemble everything and change everything that needs changing. So I need to make a long list and make an order. We're going to lift this up onto blocks and then we can have a look underneath to see what the heater channels look like, see if there's any repairs that need doing. But man, it does look good low, doesn't it? So these are the new pan halves. There's quite a bit of work to do to these, and just need to drill the holes and obviously cut the old one out. And these are usually spot welded along the edges, but I will plug weld them because the spot welder we have at work doesn't have long enough arms to reach back there. But pretty simple job. Cut them out, weld them on, jobs are good. You can see these replacement panels are not exactly the same pressing as the original ones. This indentation actually goes back further than the original ones, but I'm not too worried about those kind of details. These will be fine. And there's these, like, I don't know what you would call them. They're for stopping the carpet from slipping. I think they clip in somehow. I also need to remove these seat rails and make new cross member things, so they need to come off and then put onto these new ones. The jacking points, I'm going to delete these because I normally always just jack the car up here, so they don't need to go back on. But not so bad. So we just took some measurements from the edge of this, where the holes are, to the side of the tunnel, because obviously the new panels have to be exactly the same as position as these. This is going to stay, and there's a lip that folds underneath here which it's spot welded to, so I'm just going to cut along, right the way along there, right the way along the back here, and then along here. I thought while I'm here and it's a sunny day, I might as well cut these off. Before I start cutting, Jan is just removing the pedals because obviously they're in the way, and they're coming out nicely, or not. So easy as that. As you can see, I left a bit of an edge there because this panel actually folds underneath the pan half, and I've just cut all the way along. Same here, there's like a lip underneath here, so I need to separate this and remove still this part of the old pan, and then just cut along there. But it's looking less rusty already.
Yep.
So that's the other side cut out. I basically cut around this like that and then folded this over so I could get behind there to cut that off, and the rest of it looks pretty damn good, so happy with that. So I just rested the new pans, and they don't actually fit too bad. There was a little bit of an overhang here, so there's obviously going to need some trimming, and I took some measurements on the old pan so I can line this up nicely and drill all these holes, etc. Put the original seat runners on there, and I also need to put the bracket for the accelerator pedal back on here. We just blew up the fuel pipe that runs inside this tunnel all the way to the back here, and it blew through quite nicely. Smells like old fuel, which is never nice, but that's cool. We just put the body up on some blocks to keep it off the ground, and we also inspected underneath the heater channels, and they were super solid, which is fantastic news, so I don't have to do more repairs on this. Really happy. I just noticed actually up top here are the original, or is the original rear quarter, and you can see how many holes that they drilled out and used a slide hammer to pull the dent out. I mean, they're all over the place, it's crazy. But I may even be able to, I can't see very well from here, but I might even be able to use some of that maybe. I don't know yet, we'll find out. So after a spot of lunch, we are now removing this body of Yanni's square back, which he's taken to a show in Sweden in a month. So he wants to remove the body from the pan, and then he's going to blast the floors, etc., and paint them. They're actually in really good shape just from surface rust, so it's easier just to drop the chassis and then roll it out, paint it, put it back. He also needs to change all the brake lines, etc. But overall this car is in really good solid shape. There's not any rust issues. There's a couple of bubbles here and there, but nothing major. So 2 bodies off in one day. All these old Volkswagens of this kind of era are pretty much the same, you know, fuel tank in the front, engine in the back and all that. And they do vary slightly from model to model, like where the mounting points are, etc. These variants have different front beams, suspension beams to like my Ghia and Beetles, etc. But it's essentially pretty much the same. Just a few different location points, and also because this has like this loading area, this has flatter air filter system, twin carbs, and then obviously you don't have the fan shroud like you do on the Beetle or the Karmann Ghia. You actually have the fan in this unit here, so it can sit nice and flat in there, and then you can have like a nice full-size boot. And it's also quite nice because this is quite high up, so when you're loading, etc., you don't have to break your back, so it actually works really nicely.
Pretty much. It's stuck again.
It's stuck.
Yeah. But where?
It's dropped quite a lot though.
Yeah. It's
It's loose, but it's not dropping.
The stands here. Let's try from the back.
So we're basically going to leave the wheels off, drop the pan onto the floor, and then drag that thing out of there. But the front is sticking a little bit, so we're going to try and release the back. Maybe we've missed a bolt or something, we don't know. Let's see. Okay, so the back came down nicely onto the stands and has lifted the body on these trestles. So let's see if the front will break loose, or maybe we've missed something. So we just noticed that it's actually the steering box is catching on spare wheel well, which actually unbolts really easy. So we're just going to whip that out and hopefully the chassis will drop nicely. Wicked! Cool, that's out the way. So now, is it going to drop? Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Oops, nearly fell over. Yeah!
Does it fit? Not really.
Aha!
But it's a lot easier me to carry on from that point.
Yeah. Does the jack drop low enough to put this on the floor?
No, it's actually down already.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but it's not still enough to get under there. But it's not a problem. I can continue next week with my son to get higher jacks here.
Yeah. Do you want to get these jack stands out?
I think so, yeah.
Let's do that.
Both are loose.
Oh man. Okay. Let's get the other side. Away. Lovely.
Nothing on the way.
Heater wires are connected still, are they? Ah, yeah. You can just see under there. So there you have it. The chassis is free. Okay, so there you have it. Yanni needs to lift the body just what, 20 centimeters, something like that, to be able to roll the chassis out, and then it's free. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I'm going to head back to my workplace and drop off the chassis and the parts, and then I'll get started on the chassis in the next video. So if you have enjoyed what you're watching, please click like, and why not subscribe, because it's free, and then you can keep updated with the progress on the Karmann Ghia. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.